Right. All right. Can you hear us now? Sorry, guys. I'm glad we're back now. Let me know if you have any troubles with the audio, and we're gonna get rocking here. We can hear you now. Oh, geez. That was not fun, but that's okay because we are not going to stop for nothing. Today we're going to talk about how to flip houses out of state. So without ever visiting the property. So it doesn't really matter if it's an out-of-state property or if it is an in-state property, but you just can't get to it. This is flipping houses out of state. Or flipping houses in your own state, but you can't go look at it. So the key here is without ever visiting the property. Thanks so much, everybody, for the thumbs up. Marie says, can hear us loud and clear. S&O Co-Holdings, we hear both sides. I hope that's a good thing. I'm not sure what both sides means. Mr. Rogers says we can hear you. SJ Doe, yep, we can hear you now. Fantastic. Sound works. I'm loving it. Technical difficulties. Let's see who else is here. Mr. Rogers here. Anthony's here. Hello, all. I'm having technical difficulties. Should be working now. It actually wasn't you. It was me. Sounds like a bad breakup. Let's see here. Still no sound. Looks like we get that solved. I'm just trying to go through. Thanks for all the comments, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, Anthony can hear us now. Great. So glad you're with us, Anthony. What you're going to learn today? We're going to talk about investing in houses that you've never seen. We're going to talk about how to wholesale remotely. So remotely meaning not in the state or the area which you live in. We're going to talk about how to fix and flip properties remotely. And we're going to talk about who you need on your team to make all this happen. How to easily find cash buyers. I'm going to show you how to do that. And how to evaluate the profitability of a market. How do you know if the market's good or one that you should be participating in? Before I do that disclaimer, I just want to make sure I keep this live. Our Investor's Edge, I want to keep our link live, so when we switch over to that, you'll be able to see it very easily. Okay, the show's for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any financial moves, consult with a real estate professional, attorney, CPA, or other professional who's an expert on the subject matter. Everybody's situation is different, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach or guarantee to work for all investors. DHM may receive payments from sponsorships, guests in the forms of books, giveaways, items, discounts, or other remunerations. As with anything in life, results come down to education, following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through until the end. I say this every week, but that last one is my favorite. Determination to follow through until the end. I find most people just give up too early. Have any of you heard the? It's an old story. It's like Acres of Diamonds. Have you ever heard that story? If you have, put it in the chat. I'd be interested. If not, I may share it with you one of these days. Big welcome. Please state your name. Your first name and the city and state you're investing in. It's going to be very important this time because I'm going to show some demonstrations, and I would like to use a city and state that one of you, is actually interested in investing in or wanting to, and this could be even outside your area where you want to do remote investing or out-of-state investing. But if you'll type in your name and where you're looking to invest or want to invest, I'll show you a couple of examples using our Investor's Edge software today that I think will be really beneficial. So just go ahead and type it in the comments there. If you're watching these as recording, please join us live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live. We usually don't have technical difficulties, so sorry about today, but we won't be having that in the future here. Free swag. Today, we're giving away some free swag. Let's go through that. This is what we're giving away. So last week's winner that we'll be announcing at the end today is getting our Do Hard Money, what are these things called? Insulation for a water bottle. We've got a killer Do Hard Money book bag, backpack. We've got that. We've got our flexor. We've got the stretchy band exercise. We've got our Do Hard Money. Oh, you can't even see that. There we go. We've got our Do Hard Money ice packs, which are awesome. Obviously, we've got our Do Hard Money stress balls. We've got our jump rope. We've got our financial freedom workbook with DVD, USB. Maybe I can find this. Yeah, we've got our DVD, USBs, and workbook. Giving that away. All that, whoever we announce their name, and we've already decided this. It's on our last slide, or second to last slide here. We're going to be shipping all this to you. But this week, let me show you. We've got some cool stuff for this week. This week, we're giving away another Do Hard Money hat. We've got the same Financial Freedom Workbook and DVD, USB. We've got a water bottle, Do Hard Money water bottle. We've got some an insulated sleeve, same thing. We've got our exercise gripper, and we've got the stretchy thing. We've got a Do Hard Money shirt that's going to be coming your way as well. We've got let's see here. We've got a Stress House. What else do we have in here? We've got a Do Hard Money wristband and a couple of cool DHM stickers coming your way. So we'll be announcing that one next week, but you can win that this week. There's a few ways to do that. Let me get all this swag moved out of the way. All right, so a couple of ways you can do that. We'll announce last week's winner at the end. If you're interested in winning some swag today, please type in the comments, I want to win the swag. That'd be awesome. How to win it? Let's talk about that. If you ask great questions, if you give positive comments, we're looking for comments on our recorded YouTube video. So after this, the live version, love to see you go back and make some comments in there, give some thumbs up. Those are things we're looking for. We're looking for high interaction. We want to see you engaging. We want to see you engaging with us and with others. And based upon those things, I will choose one person that we're going to be mailing the swag bag box out to. Appreciate those that have participated here. I've got Jim from Chandler, Arizona. Jim, I've been to Chandler. I know right where you're at. So we may use that as our example. If you want Chandler, Arizona, Jim from Chandler in our example, please type in the comments you would like to see that. Anthony, I have all attributes from South Carolina. Okay, great, Anthony. If you want to see Anthony used in our example today, put it in the comments. Leroy Clemens from Savannah, Georgia. We do a lot of stuff out there in Georgia. Please type that in the comments. Welcome. Okay, thank you for the comments. Keep them coming. We really appreciate them. Rodrigo Cheek says, great training from last week. Anthony, who is with us today, said, I truly enjoy the training and your podcast, Income Hacker. Anthony, thanks, man. Keep listening. Really appreciate it. Income Hacker podcast and our live cast. It's a great combination. If you like these live casts and you want to see them continue, I really need your help. Right now we have 4,340 subscribers. My goal is to get to 4,340 subscribers by the end of October, but checking by my watch, it is the 20th, which means only 2/3 of the month is over, and we have 1/3 of the month left. So I've changed my goal to 4,360. It's a stretch goal. We hit the original goal, which means we're looking for 20 new subscribers. A big thank you to those of you who have already subscribed, and we have 20 more to go to reach my stretch goal. So for some of you that I haven't seen a lot, Jim, I don't think I've seen you much. Are you a subscriber? If not, please go subscribe right now to Do Hard Money on YouTube and type in, I'm your newest subscriber. That would be awesome. Leroy Clemens, I don't think I've seen you recently either. Anthony, obviously know exactly who you are. Maurice, glad to have you here. I know you're here. You've been here before. I know you're a subscriber. SNN Co Holdings, I don't think you're a subscriber right now. If you're not, go subscribe right now. Mr. Rogers, I know you're a subscriber. Thanks for being a subscriber and a great listener. Shadow, I don't think you're a subscriber. Would love to have you subscribe today before the end. Anthony, of course, we know who you are. Maurice, we know who you are. And we've got others that are just too shy to say anything. I subscribed earlier today. Nice, Jim. Thanks, man. Excited for you to be with us. And feel free, ask questions as we're going along. Some of our old timers that have been here for a while are happy to. Leroy is a subscriber. Fantastic. I appreciate it. Well, we need some new subscribers too. So who have we got listening that's too shy to make some comments that they're going to be my newest subscriber? But thank you, Leroy. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mr. Rogers, Anthony, Jim, all of you, everybody that's subscribing and those that will subscribe. Thanks for being a part of our community. Now, one of the great things about subscribing is I upload a new video every single day. So this is one on measuring risk. This is on multifamily. If it's a good investment, I am doing new ones every single day. So please hit the thumbs up when you see those videos come out. Take a few minutes. Those quick videos that I'm doing are less than 5 minutes, and so you can get just some specific information. Make sure you hit the subscribe and hit the bell notification. SNN Co. Holdings is our newest subscriber. All right. Thank you. Thanks for being our newest subscriber. Everybody give some props to SNN Co. Holdings, although we would love to know your name as well. But thanks for being a subscriber to our Do Hard Money YouTube channel. Also, please leave some comments on those recorded videos. It makes a major difference, helps us out. But the biggest thing you can do is tell somebody else about it as well. There's nothing that you can do to bring people together than find some financial friends. If you're thinking about real estate, if you're doing real estate, if you're starting to invest and you want to get going, hey, tell somebody else about it. They can learn while you're learning. You can compare notes. It is a great way. I have lifelong friends I've made in real estate investing as we cut our teeth and learn things. And I still am friends to this day, and I'm still learning new stuff all the time. All right, let's talk about this real estate market. What is happening in your area? As we talk about updates that are happening in the real estate market, let's talk about what's happening in your area as well. Please put it in the comments here. Let me know what's happening in your neck of the woods and what you're seeing. Quicken Loans says the real story in real estate is just how strong the housing market has been and continues to be. We'll get into this a little bit more below, but the existing home sales were up to 6 million level on the new home sales side, and they've crossed the 1 million mark. There's nothing left to be said but wow. I talk about this quite a bit. In real estate investing, you have one of two problems. You're going to have a hard time finding properties and an easy time selling properties, or you're going to have an easy time finding properties and a hard time selling the property. See, there's an inverse relationship. If one's easy, the other one's hard. If one's hard, the other one's easy. That's basically how it goes. In today's market, you're going to have your challenge in finding properties. And we're going to talk more about that this week and next week because selling properties seems to be pretty easy. Jim's saying values are way up in my area in Phoenix. Totally agree. Seeing that pretty much nationwide with a few abnormalities, but pretty much nationwide the same thing. Rising home prices are keeping prospective buyers out of home ownership. We're seeing that. Home prices usually drop in the fall, but median home prices hover nearly summer highs at $350,000 last week, up 12.9% from the week ending October 3rd compared to the same time this year, according to Realtor.com. Basically, year over year, if you bought a house for $100,000, it's now worth $100,000. Last year, it's now worth $112,900. Can you believe it? Realtor.com reports the monthly jobs report showed that September's unemployment continued to improve, meaning less unemployment. A sector like leisure, hospitality, retail, healthcare add back jobs. Altogether, payrolls rose by 661,000, which is fantastic. Love to see that. Home prices are still at summer peak levels, and for the first time in our data, September homes are on the market for less time than August. We are breaking records right now, but this is records on selling properties and values, so which means if you can find a deal, you can definitely sell it. But right now, you've got to know how to find those deals. Buyers navigating this market will need to be determined and prepared in order to succeed if you're wanting to buy something. Although the market may be challenging for home buyers, many of these signs are positive for sellers and the overall housing recovery. In fact, all components of our housing market recovery index register above the baseline this week. Even the supply index, everything's looking good this week. The current state of the housing market isn't expected to change anytime soon. It is part due to many buyers thinking that the market wouldn't be as seller-friendly as it is right now. Quicken Homes says the average loan on a 30-year fixed mortgage is 0.8 points, with 7 basis points to 2. It fell 7 basis points to 2.86%. This has fallen from 3.56% the same time a year ago, which is obviously helping house prices because the same house price, the payment is going to be the same or less money. The payment's less, but the house price is more, so you're probably getting about the same when it comes to cost in your monthly payment. A lot of people buy by payment, not based upon price. The Fed suggests, according to Yahoo Finance, the Fed suggests the worst of the crisis is over, according to Yahoo Finance. Let's talk a little bit about COVID for just a minute. COVID-19 update. We're seeing some things level off here. If you look here, December, February, a little bit of an uptake, but we're starting to see some level off, which I'm excited about. Naeem M from Virginia. They've got 729 hospital beds in use with 6,581 available. And Anton H, they've got 706 in Indiana with 8,485 homes available. Rodrigo C, 361 beds in use with 3,961 available. ABC News says the risk of COVID-19 exposure on planes virtually non-existent when masked. So basically the idea is if you're flying but you have a mask on, it's a non-existent risk of getting COVID. It's great to hear. Coronavirus vaccination trial participants report day-long exhaustion, fever, and headache, but say it's worth it. At least 41 COVID-19 vaccinations are in human trials. That means 41 different companies are trying 41 different vaccinations for COVID. And this is worldwide. 4 of them backed in the United States candidates, Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca. I hope I'm saying that right. New York Times, Johnson & Johnson plans to enroll 60,000 more participants into the phase 3 trials for the COVID vaccination. New CDC reports 94% of patients who died from COVID had other health issues. Best bet to beat COVID-19 this fall is flu shots. World Economy Forum top scientist story over the week say immune reaction to some common colds might provide protection against COVID-19. Last immunity seen after mild COVID-19 infection reporting, according to Fox News. The New York Times, herd immunity, so-called herd immunity, is the point where viruses no longer spread, suggests we need to be about 70% to have that happen, and they currently think we're at 43%. USA Today reports that U.S. has lifted advisory from all international travel. The New Yorker reports that kids are less susceptible to getting COVID. If you live with somebody that has COVID and you're under the age of 20, you have 5.2% risk of getting COVID. Between the ages of 20 and 50, you have a 14.8% risk of getting COVID. And over the age of 60, you have an 18.4% risk of getting COVID if you currently live with somebody that has COVID. I like those odds. Okay, guys, let's just get into this. How to flip houses out of state. I'm going to grab a drink. Where do you guys want to do some demonstrations on? It looks like, okay, sure, use Chandler as an example. Is Jim, were you the one that wanted Chandler? Yeah. Jim's like, yeah, I just use Chandler. Leroy's in Savannah, Georgia. Let's see, where else you guys want to use some examples from today? Type it in. Maurice's from Chicago. Do you want us to use Chicago as an example? Type it in the comments. I'm going to use an example here in a minute. Okay, got some ice from my drink. It's been melting. All right, how to flip houses out of state without ever visiting the property, okay? What you're going to learn today is investing in homes you have never seen before. How to wholesale remotely. How to fix and flip remotely. Who you need on your team and how to easily find cash buyers. And how to evaluate the profitability of a specific market. Okay, Florida. Okay, so let's talk about how to invest in a house you haven't seen before, okay? How are we going to do this, right? Investing in houses you have never seen. Find properties that are out of state. Run comps out of state. You've got to understand the area. Then you've got to determine the rehab bids. You've got to understand the construction. You've got to understand the resale, okay? To invest out of state, you have 2 options, basically. You either wholesale properties or you do fix and flips, okay? It's much easier because wholesaling is much easier because if you can't sell the home, you don't buy it. So the idea of wholesaling is you find somebody that wants to sell their property deeply discounted. You then find somebody that, like a cash buyer, you make a little spread in the middle. If you can't find a cash buyer, you don't close on your purchase. So that works really well. And you can do this with full integrity by telling the seller, hey, I think I can make that price work, but give me a couple weeks to find out. Let me talk to my business partners. Let me see what we can do. If I can make it work, we'll move forward. If not, I'll let you know in 2 weeks. weeks, and then we can part as friends, and you sign the agreement. So you can do that with full integrity. Okay, what is wholesale? Okay, wholesale is you find that property, you put the property under contract subject to your partner approval, give yourself 2 weeks, you find a cash buyer, they pay you and take over the contract. They pay you a fee and they take over that contract. So there's multiple different ways to wholesale. There's an assignment fee, which is called the assignment of contract. There's simultaneous closing, which means they close and then you close. You use the same number money. So the end buyer's money is paying for the money for you to make the purchase, and you make a spread in the middle. Some states allow that, some states don't. And then you have buy and sell using flash cash, which basically means you're getting a loan just for a few days. That money buys your property. Someone else buys it from you. It all happens within a couple of days, but multiple ways to do that. To do an in and out of state, to do an out of state wholesale deal, you have to find the property. Then you've got to value the property. You've got to understand the area, know what you're getting yourself into. You do a virtual walkthrough. You get the property under contract, and then you assign it. So if I was doing that, I would do Ryan Wright and or assigns, or Ryan Wright with new LLC to be created. And then you find the cash buyers, then you get a deposit, you set up the inspections, and then you close the transaction. So this is kind of the flow of what happens to make a wholesale deal actually work when you're dealing with out of state and in state with a few variations. Fix and flip. Let's talk about doing an out of state fix and flip. Okay. To do an out of state fix and flip, right? You find a property, you value the property, you understand the area, you do your virtual walkthrough, you get the property under contract. This is some steps you don't have with wholesaling. You get your contractor bids, you set up your inspections, you close the transaction, then you do the fix up, then you do the resale. So this is basically the roadmap if you're going to be doing a fix and flip transaction remotely. The big difference really just comes down to construction, right? Actually doing the work on the property. With the construction, you have to get a contractor. You've got to get bids. You've got to be a project manager to make sure the work gets done on time, on budget, and on quality. Quality has to be correct. That's such a big problem that happens with people, is the quality of the workmanship just isn't there. Let's talk about a few pros and cons when it comes to wholesaling. It's much easier to do, especially getting started. That's one of the pros of wholesaling. It's easier to do than doing full fix and flip. But the cons are you make less money doing it. Wholesaling usually is making $5,000 to $20,000. And a fix and flip, you're probably making $30,000 to $70,000. It just depends. And let's talk about the fix and flip. Let's go over some pros and cons there. The pros are you're going to get a bigger paycheck. You just are. The cons are the construction and project management is very difficult. It takes a lot of oversight. Even if it's in your state, it takes a lot of oversight. So doing it remotely takes a lot more work. Can it be done? Absolutely, but it takes more work. You've got to be aware with that, and you've got to find the right contractors. Ways to make flipping easier. If you partner with a general contractor, right? So you can find a general contractor and say, hey, you do the work at your cost. I'll make everything else happen, and then we will pay you for materials, and you will get paid as a percentage of the profit when we sell the property. So the better job you do, the faster we do, the less interest we pay to our hard money lender, the more profit there is, and there's more for us to split. It's a great way of partnering with a general contractor so that they'll do good quality, make sure it's on time, and keep you top of the list. But also do this, get some referrals. Make sure the general contractor you're working with is good, that they're the right one. Let's talk a little bit about finding properties. Recommend using Investor's Edge. Look at the buckets. You can do mailers, voice broadcasts, knock on the doors. Okay, I want to show you a little demonstration here. So let's do an area. Let's just say, let's just use Chicago. Chicago, Illinois. Here we go. Okay, so these are different buckets. So what we've done with Investor's Edge is we've created these buckets for you. So like this bucket, there's 7,149, and you can read here, they're vacant properties, they're SFR, so single family residencies, plus they're unlisted, meaning not listed on the multiple listing services, plus equity. And for us, we say they have $50,000 or more of equity. In this bucket here, there's 1,744. These are $5,000 plus lien. What that means is these are involuntary liens. An involuntary lien is where somebody's property gets liened and they didn't agree to it. So it's going to be a judgment, a collection, an HOA. Actually, I should probably just show you all these different types of liens that can come on the property. So tax liens, HOA liens, mechanic liens, utility liens, solar liens, child support liens, or other liens. A lien, basically what we're saying here is there's one of those liens that's for $5,000 or greater, plus it's a single family house, plus it's not listed on the MLS, plus we know it has $50,000 of equity. There's 1,744. And the cool thing is with our software is if a new one comes on, you can get an email every time a new one comes on. And if an old one comes off, meaning there's no equity, it got sold, it got listed, then it automatically falls out of these buckets. Bankruptcy, there is 6,139 bankruptcies for single family houses that are not listed on the MLS that have $50,000 or more of equity. Get this, there are 12,699 out-of-state owners, but they're not just out-of-state. They are single-family houses, not listed on the MLS, with $50,000 or more of equity. Non-owner occupied, there are 80,140 non-owner occupied properties that are single-family houses, not listed on the MLS, with $50,000 or more of equity. Okay, pre-foreclosure, there's 1,851 pre-foreclosures. They are single-family homes. They are unlisted on the MLS. They're not listed on the MLS, and they have $50,000 or more of estimated equity. Failed listings, there are 7,031 failed listings. This means they were listed on the MLS, and they didn't sell. They were taken off. They are single-family houses. They're not listed, and they have $50,000 or more of estimated equity. That's what I'm talking about here. When I say we've got to find different ways to find properties, this is it. So you use Investor's Edge. You look at the buckets. Then what you can do is you create these buckets. Then you can start running some campaigns. You can do postcard campaigns. You can do voicemail campaigns, and you can do email marketing campaigns. If you want to do voicemails or you want to do email marketing, you actually have to do skip traces. This is the skip traces. There's a fee to do the skip trace. You can get the voicemail, you can get phone numbers, you can get emails. If you want to do postcards, there is no additional fees because you don't have to do any skip tracing on those. Oh, it looks like we lost our Chicago. Here we go for Chicago, and let's just go vacant properties. And what you'll see here, once this loads, is there's 7,149. It's going to take a minute. But once we do that, you can actually look at those, and I can show you where, maybe one of these others would be a little faster. I can show you where the mailing address is, but it's really simple because you actually just say you want to mail to them, and it'll automatically do that for you as this is loading while we're doing this live cast. Let's see here. Come on, you can do it. So let's maybe pre-foreclosures. We'll get that going. We've got the live cast going, so it's going to spin here for just a minute. So you can do the mailer, you can do the voice broadcast, and you can make those things happen. The other thing we want to talk about is understanding your area. There's some really cool things in Investor's Edge with heat maps to help you understand the area that I want to show you here. First off, let's just look at this property to show you where the mailing address is. As it loads, I'm sorry with what we're doing here. Okay, so you can see here that the person, so this is the address of the property, and this is the mailing address of the property. So this is an owner-occupied deal, and because I think we did bankruptcy. So if I'm going to mail, I can just mail this. That's just public information. This will probably be the same, where the address, because we're not doing out-of-state owners, we're doing pre-foreclosures. So most of the time, the address of the property where you want to mail. But let's say that you wanted to mail to out-of-state owners. On the out-of-state owners list, where you're going to be mailing is not going to be the property address. As this loads here, I can show you because they live out of state. So typically that mailing address is not going to be located in the state because they're an out-of-state owner. It's going to be in that same place down here. And I apologize, just because we're doing the live cast, we've got so much going here. So you can see this guy lives in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida, and the property address is on North Lakeshore. So if you mail to North Lakeshore, you're going to be wasting your time and your money because the guy actually lives in Kissimmee. So you send the mailer here to Kissimmee to try and tell the guy you want to buy his property on Lakeshore Drive. This is powerful, guys. I want to make sure you catch the idea of that. Now, let me also show you. Let's choose a single family house here. The other thing that I really want to help you see is I want to help you see the area. So let's just take like this property right here. And what I want to get you to see is understanding the area. If you're investing out of state, one of the most powerful things you can do is knowledge is power, right? So you really want to know what is going on in this specific neighborhood. So we're going to kind of dive deep. So once I put a full property address in here, I can see this neighborhood, right? So this is my subject property right here. If I zoom out just a little bit, I'm going to find some statistics and some analytics. So the first thing I'm going to find is statistics. So I can see prices went up in the last 30 days. I like to change this to like 6 months or 90 days. It just depends on what you're trying to do. So prices have gone up, listings have gone up. You can see here price per square foot has gone up, and it's kind of been hovering right where it's at. So I know price per square foot is $143, $144. I can look back on that. Average days on market for a 1 bedroom is 148 days. For a 5 bedroom is 157 days. I need to plan on that. If I'm investing out of state, I really need to be like, hey, I need to plan on it. It's going to take me 144 days to sell this property. Average rental amounts. A 4 bedroom in this area is renting for $2,238. If I want to buy the property, burr it, I have an idea what rents are going to be. Now, that's not going to tell you for sure yours is going to rent for that amount, but it gives you an idea to start getting closer on making some information. It shows you some pre-foreclosures. We've seen them going down here. Market trends, new listings, less new listing, closed sales are going up. Listing trends, listing versus sales price, you can get a feel for that. Days on market, you can see the inventory just continues to go down. So I get all this statistics for the zip code, but then we get into analytics. This is where it gets really exciting, right? So if I want to look at values, if I just do estimated values, I can zoom out. Whoops, let me get out of that. Close that. Analytics, I'm going to come to estimated value, and I got to zoom out just a little bit here. And this is what it's going to show me. Let me zoom out just a little bit more. It's going to show me kind of the areas and things that were kind of, there we go. Now it just took a minute. So you can see here, this light blue is under $100,000. You can see these here. This is, maybe $150,000. You can see it's more expensive here. You can see there's this little pocket here. You see this yellow over here. This is more around the $500,000 range. So these are more expensive. This side of the tracks is less expensive. There's a weird pocket here where I've got a little yellow, a little bit of darker colors, and I've got this here. So this is an interesting little area. You'll see the same thing over here, but I see bigger values over here. Why is this important? If you're investing out of state, you need to know what's going on with the area, and this gives you a really good feel. The other thing you can do is start just making some natural boundaries. See, I can get a little closer in here and be like, okay, look, this is a boundary, whatever street this is right here, West, let me zoom in and I can see it. West Beverly or whatever that street is. I won't take the time and bore you with it, but that's a natural boundary. I know that if I cross this, I'm in a different price range. I know that if I cross this, I'm in a different price range. Here's a big mistake a lot of people make. They find a property right here that's in this lighter blue or this darker blue, but they use comps that are over here in this yellow and say that's a good comp. It is not a good comp. You cannot cross this boundary line right here, or you're going to have comps that are more expensive and you're going to end up in a problem. Those are things that you can only know by doing these heat maps. Okay, the other thing you can do, MLS Square, you can do stuff like bedrooms or listing prices. Let's just look like bedrooms. This is less than a 1 bedroom. This is a 7 bedroom. Gives you an idea with bedrooms if that's of interest or something you need to do. Square footage. Let's just look at square footage. This is less than 500. This is more than 3,000. Gives you an idea of where we're looking at square footage. You can see there's some cheaper houses over here, more expensive, cheaper houses over here. You get a feel for that. You can also look at price growth. What's been happening over the last 6 months? Is it going down? Is it going up? How much is it going up? I think pretty much everywhere here you can see the prices are going up at a pretty good rent rate. And then you can look at rental rates, right? So rental prices, you can see what's happening. This is really interesting. It tells the same story. Houses over here are selling for or renting for a lot less money than houses here or houses here or houses over here. This is a weird little pocket we need to be aware of, and we've got another weird pocket going on up here. I can scroll in and see more information. So if you're wanting to invest out of state, you've got to know what's happening in the area. And the way you know what's happening in the area is you come in here and you start looking at these heat maps, and you can get an idea for areas you should be in, areas you don't want to be in. Look at the statistics. This is how you start looking at investing at out-of-state properties. Then you've got to find these out-of-state properties. And the way you're going to do that is using these different buckets. And then once you find those buckets, then you can do skip tracing if you want, and you start doing these campaigns. Once you do the campaigns, then you're starting to get the phone to ring, and then you start working with people. So understanding the area is essential if you're looking to invest out of state, or if you're looking to invest in the state you're in, but you just don't know the areas that well. Maybe they're in your own backyard, but you don't understand the real estate. You need these same things. listings, or maybe it's in the same state, but it's a long ways away. And so these are the things you need to look at. When we're looking at Investor's Edge, we want comps on the property. You need to be able to value the property. So how are you going to value the property? Well, let's come back. Let's come back to that property. Oh, I don't remember the address. There we go. It's this Levitt in Chicago. Let's see here. Hopefully this isn't your house, but oh well if it is. This is all public information. So once you find the property, then you can come here to comps and nearby listings. You can look at public record, MLS, or both. I like to look at both. It's got some preset filters, goes back to a year, preset square footage. It goes a half a mile. We're looking at sold properties. I can then sort these for 160. So I can see the cheapest is 160, and I can see the most expensive goes up to 443. And I can basically look at each one of these properties individually. So for example, this property right here, I can look at the details, I can see the pictures, and then I can work my way up from lowest to highest and make a determination as to what this property is really going to sell for. It's also really cool because we store all the pictures. So if the property is ever listed, you can come through, you can look at the pictures, and you can know what's really going on with this area, with this neighborhood, and with this specific property. So if you're looking for comps, you want to be within a mile, you want to sort from low to high, you can determine the values and what these comps are really worth. You can do all that through our Investor's Edge software. Okay. Then the next thing you've got to do is a virtual walkthrough. That virtual walkthrough, you can use Zoom. Zoom's a great platform. You can actually have somebody, you can have the seller do a virtual walkthrough, or if they're doing that virtual walkthrough, they start outside the street. You say, let's move really slowly. Let's look at both sides of the street. Let's look inside. This can take up to an hour, and you want to make sure you record this video. If you're a wholesaler and you record this video, you can then send this video to people that want to buy the property so they can get a tour of the property without ever having to get inside. Another thing you can do is use TaskRabbit. It's a site where you can pay somebody some money and they could go to the property for you and do the virtual walkthrough. If you're dealing with a vacant property, this is a great way of making that happen. You can pay somebody else to go do a video. You can hire a real estate agent to go take a look at the property for you, help you with the values. They can video the property. They can do a Zoom meeting with you while you're there and do a virtual walkthrough. These are other ways of doing things when you're investing out of state. So getting the property under contract, I like to use the short form contract. Make sure it has the and or assigns. Give yourself enough time on deadlines, typically 4 weeks to close, 3 weeks for inspections. Contractor bids, this is only applies to our fix and flips. There are Facebook contractor groups. You can put contractors in Chicago, Illinois, and there are Facebook groups for Chicago contractors. There's also a thing called the Apartment Association. This is typically where landlords like to hang out. And one of the things there is they have people that are advertising or sponsoring, and if they're general contractors, they know they're looking for repeat business, and they've got to give good pricing. So they're looking for sponsors. You can network. Another great way is the Real Estate Investors Association. You look for sponsors, or you can network with other people that are there. You can also use your state general contractors list, right? So you could just look up the state general contractors, and everyone that's licensed as public information, you can give them a call. You can ask for referrals. You don't want to use the guy that advertises on the TV or the billboard. That guy's going to be way, way, way too expensive. That is not the guy that you want to be using, but you've got to find a good contractor. Finding cash buyers, okay? This is a cool thing in Investor's Edge as well. So we can actually go into Investor's Edge and we can actually just get a list of cash buyers. So let's say you had this property in Chicago under contract, and then you want to find cash buyers for that area. So I can come here and I can look for someone who was a cash buyer. Let me pull it over here. Cash buyers list. Oh, I think my next slide is going to walk us through that. Okay. Recently paid. Let's say you recently paid cash. Somebody recently paid cash for a house on 123 Main Street. You can send them a postcard and say, I have a house in the exact same area. And then you can show them the property itself. So let me look here. Value equity. Property characteristics, that's not the right one. Ownership information, mortgage information. Okay, cash buyer, include cash buyers. So this is cash buyers, and I can do a search for cash buyers in this area that paid cash for the property. I can then, let's see here, let's just say Chicago, Illinois. Oops. Let's just look in Chicago. There we go. And then I'm going to just do a quick filter. And I'm going to go mortgage information, include cash buyers, And then we can close that. And then let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of other stuff we want to do. Property characteristics. Let's just say it's a residential home and it's a single family. Okay, it's going to take a minute for this data to load, but then this list is going to be a list of cash buyers, people that pay cash for the property on a residential home. If that's the case, I can then send out a postcard to those people, and those people I can say, hey, I have a house on 123 Main Street. You just bought a house in the same area. Would you please be willing to buy this property? Are you interested in buying this property? That's what you can do. I have a home for sale in the same area. As you build up this list, you want to keep it. As people call you, you want to keep their information. Make a spreadsheet so you can call them time and time again. Let's see if our list is built out. Oh, it's still processing. There's just too many cash buyers in that area. And we're doing the live cast, which is going to take just a minute. Okay, wholesaling, get a deposit. I have them send a wire. Once I send them the video walkthrough, here's the video, here's the property, here's the comps. Get your ABA and account number from your bank. Tell them to send you a wire. Once you have a wire, you haven't signed the agreement, and then you can set up an inspection. You can arrange a time with the seller to get inside the property. If it's a wholesaler, the buyer can just go. If it's a flip, your contractor can then go. Out of state, I recommend getting home inspectors if you're going to be closing on the transaction. Now, if you're wholesaling, you don't need a home inspection, but if you're going to be closing on the property, taking title, you want to get a home inspection. You want to have your loan all lined up. You want to get with the title company or the closing attorney to close, to flip the property, or to actually do your wholesale where you get an assignment fee, or you can do a double closing. Depends on the situation. With the flip, now you got to get the rehab done. You got to work with a contractor. You could hire a project manager. You can do video walkthrough inspections. You can have a contract. You can use a bid sheet with line-by-line item breakdowns. You can resell the property. Now that it's done, you've got to resell the property. You want to work with a quality agent. You want to get the number of showings. Each week, you want to know how many showings and what the feedback was. What do they think of the property? Are they interested in making an offer? Those things are critical to help you make decisions on what to do. If you don't get enough showings, the price is too high. If you get enough showings but no offers, it's either the condition or it is the price based upon the condition. This is the process for out-of-state investing. I hope this has been really helpful for you. Check out our Find Fund Flip system. We have dozens of hours training, deal finding software, access to our 100% financing. DoHardMoney.com/get started. Check it out. Okay, let me grab a drink here and let's answer some of these questions. Okay, let's see here. That'll be great. All right. Okay. Yeah, Maurice, where he is in Chicago. You should like that as one of the examples. Guys, what questions do you have on investing out of state? Please type them in the comments. And while you're doing that, check out DoHardMoney.com/get started for our Find Fund Flip system. Direct mail download. Go to DoHardMoney.com/livecast-direct-mail. If you type that, we'll give you a direct mail download to check out. They can be valuable for you. If you enjoy this, please subscribe. Subscribe, thumbs up, and leave a comment. Michael's asking, access to Investor's Edge. Yeah, give us a holler. We can show you how Investor's Edge work and see if you might be a fit for us to work together, or just go to DoHardMoney.com/get started. Could be helpful. We talked about wholesaling remote. What are you interested in? What should we tailor some of these live casts around? Business partner deep dive, determine repair costs. Take a look at this list and let me know what you'd like to see for future live casts. Type it in the comments. Let me know what you're interested in so that we can tailor some of these things around. And if you want our direct mail download, go to DoHardMoney.com/livecast-direct-mail. Okay, guys, if you're enjoying these, check out my podcast called Income Hacker. Okay, Trina Britton won our swag from the week before. She had the best comments, interaction during and after. So our winner for last week's, our best comments, our winner is Rodrigo Cheeks. Rodrigo, are you with us today? Let me look. I don't know if I've seen you yet today, Rodrigo. If so, say hello. And everybody, please congratulate Rodrigo. Rodrigo is going to be walking away with his huge swag bag with the backpack and everything else we've got for him. Congratulations, Rodrigo. Thank you for being our swag winner of the week. Thank you for your support, sharing our podcast, sharing our live cast, and being a contributor here. Appreciate having you here. Rodrigo or our prayer winners, just go support@dohardmoney.com, type in the subject swag winner, give us your screen name, your mailing address, your cell phone, and we will send the free swag out to you. Okay, guys, join us next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, we won't be having those. Technical issues like we did today. I hope this was really helpful for you. Marie says thanks. Leroy says congratulations, guys. Really enjoy spending this time with you. Thanks for being a part of our community. Let's go out there, take some of these things into practice, and let's make it a very profitable day.